Good afternoon, everyone. Hello. Hi, it's Nancy Yawner with Love to List and Keller Williams Realty coming to you live from the heart of our home, my kitchen, where I share a little bit of real estate, a little bit of health and home with you on a consistent basis. It's one of my favorite times of the week. It's Tuesday, 4 o'clock. And I just love engaging with you. I love seeing you here on the live and knowing that you come and visit on the replay. Thank you all, as always, for all of your ongoing support. As you know, I try to bring a little value and fun for you. So today's topic, if you missed it, I shared a picture of these knobs right here. I shared a picture with these knobs, and then next to it was another picture, and I should have had the container, but it was cottage cheese and potato chips. And you're probably wondering what in the heck I'm going to be talking about today with you. Before I kind of get to the bottom line, I want to say thank you so much. It was so fun. Last week I had shared this bunless BLT with all of you, and basically my mom is like, well, Nancy, that's a salad. It is a salad. It's a BLT salad that I made last week because I normally 90% of the time try to make very healthy food choices. And so what I was trying to do is say, instead of having a sandwich, you can create any sandwich you want, which is different than a salad, because a salad has, Caesar dressing or ranch dressing or Thousand Island and oil and vinegar. What I was trying to make the point, hey Patsy, how you doing? Is last week is you could take any sandwich, ditch the bun, so you can make a Reuben without a bun. Kind of hard to melt the cheese, but you could still do it. You can do a steak and cheese. You can do a turkey club. You can do a tuna fish. So you can do any sandwich, just add the mayonnaise, add the mustard, add the chilies, whatever you want, and chop it up, and then it becomes a salad. So the reason why I'm sharing that again with you is because it was hilarious. After I did that live, that day, I received, and the next day, like 3 or 4 videos, and not one person wants me to share the videos. But it's funny how shy people are online and things like that. But I got a big kick out of it, these videos. I got a fish sandwich. I got the BLT that really wasn't a BLT because they didn't have the tomato. I got another sandwich. I'm trying to remember what that was. Anyways, it was really fun to see those videos. But today's topic, it is about downsizing. It is about getting your house ready for market. And, oh, hey, Carrie, how you doing? And if you saw my picture earlier, I posted a picture of these knobs along with cottage cheese and potato chips. So before I get to that point, getting your house ready for market, I always say, I've been doing this for over 35 years, and getting your home prepared for the market, prepared for the photo day, which is a big day, and mine is this Monday. And I always say there's 2 sections to the home prep staging plan. You have your home improvement section, and then you have your kind of fluff and stuff section. And the home improvements, as you might imagine, are things like painting and countertops, flooring, wood trim, deck repair, light fixtures, plumbing fixtures. So these are the things that would be more home improvement, maybe some landscaping. And then the stage and style or fluff and stuff, that is more like what I call, the foo-foo stuff. But before you get to the foo-foo stuff, which is like accessorizing or finessing, a big part of staging is furniture flipping. And I'm going to give you an example of kind of what I had to do with my house. As you know, I took care of my mother-in-law for many years. She lived with us, and she lived on the main level, where we have a main level primary bedroom. And so our bedroom for my husband and I was upstairs, and it's a nice sized bedroom. It's very spacious. But we didn't have our own bathroom, private bathroom, for 10 years. I had to walk down the hall to the bathroom, and that bathroom shared with the guests. Now, it's perfectly fine, and some people never have their own private bathroom. I'm not disking anyone that doesn't have their own bathroom. It's just, it was always funny to me to be this age, you know, in my 50s, and having to walk down the hall to the bathroom. Anyways, so we thought, my stager and myself, we thought that flipping our bed, our king size bed that we had up there, down to the primary would be the right thing to do. We brought my mother-in-law's queen size bed up to the upper level bedroom. So it's 4 bedrooms up, and then the main level primary with its own bathroom. So that's an example of furniture flipping. And the other furniture flipping that we did, you know, we all live in our homes comfortably. But when you're listing a house for sale, you have to think about, you have to think a little bit more about mass marketability. You have to think about what I tell my clients. This is your home, and we treat it like your home. We have great empathy and, you know, sensitivity to this being your home. But for me, as the realtor that you're hiring, it's a product. And that is what you're hiring me to do. And how you look online on a photo or on a computer is really important. I'll give you a little example. I've got lots of changes that we made, but I'm not going to show you these changes until the end, because it'll be really fun for you to see. But let me show you a good example, and then I want to get into a little bit more of the actual meat of what I wanted to talk to you about. So let me just go here, and you'll see I have boxes and stuff around. Let me see, flipping you around. It's dark in here. My dining room is a little bit torn up because we're painting our kitchen cabinets. So they're going to be using this space to pull the drawers and the cabinet doors off, and they're going to use this space to do that. Anyways, this is a really good example. Now, for those of you that have seen my dining room before, usually this lower part is filled with all kinds of my fun stuff that I do entertaining with. I had a lot of dishes down there, and I always have all my trays in this corner. I had my trays. I actually had a bunny over here. And so anyways, you want to clean up your corners, which is a really good example of how you want to present online versus how you live. If I lived here, I will fill that corner up. But this still is a little busy because of the pattern, but the time of year, and it has all kind of neutral tones that go together, this actually kind of works. And then by the time we put my dining room table back, and it'll be nice and clean. So that's an example of some of the things that we do that a homeowner might not know to do. So there is a method. See my boxes back here? There is a method to our madness. Now, you're asking, what does that have to do with these knobs and the potato chips and the cottage cheese? Well, let me have a sip of water. I have actually, the knob is, the knob is just one simple little transformation that we made in my mother-in-law's bathroom. These knobs came with the house, and the faucets, I wish I had, they've gone to the restore. I never liked them. They were really clunky, and they had this shiny brass and silver together, and I just never liked them. So we switched out the faucets in there to a brushed nickel. Goes really well with the countertops. And just this simple little change, this is a little more modern for my home. My home is very traditional, and this is still updated, but not too modern. So whether it's a tiny little detail like this, or removing and decluttering, editing some items in your dining room, or making a bed flip, all of these things happen with the guidance of a professional realtor, and if they are really good, their partner in crime, if you will, your stager, because that's a really key partnership. When we're listing a home for sale, we work with the sellers, together. It's not the stager's way or the highway. It's not my way or the highway. There's a lot of collaboration, and there's a lot of collaboration on the fly. We may think we have the right idea, but then when we get in there working, things can flip. But what I was going to tell you is this morning I was a little down. So I couldn't figure out why, okay? And I ended up having for breakfast cottage cheese and potato chips. So that's not a good sign. I knew something was going on when I started having cottage cheese and potato chips. So what I figured out, the missing link here for me here and going through this process, obviously I'm understanding the magnitude of what it takes to get your home ready for market, right? Number one. Number two, it's emotional, okay? When you're downsizing versus upsizing. I think that's a different flavor. And then number three, it's happening at a time in your life that for me personally wasn't our plan at this point. And so that adds a little, it's not like we're doing something proactive and that we've really wanted to do. It's based on more of a need than a heart's desire. And yes, we're making great decisions. We're happy about it. We're moving forward. We're excited for the next thing, but it certainly is emotional. And so a little down, but what I came to the conclusion is I don't have a realtor. And that's my missing link here in this whole process. I don't have a realtor telling me, the good guidance and what to expect. And hey, you're gonna get emotional. You're gonna get down. You're gonna feel all the feels. And it's hard to have people in your house every single day working on different areas of your home. And it's difficult to be in limbo land and be in this phase of in between. And not only that, trying to make other decisions on the other end. And, I wish that I just had a realtor that could come in and handle all this piece so that I can just kind of meld away and do my own thing. And I recognize I'm my own realtor, but I don't have objectivity. And even my stager was talking to me about it's really hard for her to be objective in this home because she's been a friend of mine for many, many years. She loves my home. And we were both really having a hard time figuring out the right plan for this home because we are both so emotional about the home. We are painting our cabinets, but most people would think we're painting our cabinets white. And we're not doing that. We're actually kind of going a little bit risque and a little bold because my home is a niche home for a niche buyer. So we don't necessarily want to have the white kitchen and like what everyone else has online because it's not going to fit this particular home. So anyways, that's kind of the reality. I thought, you know what, I should have probably hired a colleague of mine to kind of help me get out of my own way, I guess, because I could really use the help. But so that's what's going on. So while I'm making these little decisions, I'm eating my cottage cheese and potato chips. And don't worry, everything's going to be great. I know I'm going to be fine. But I really now have a much better perspective what my clients go through, especially who are downsizing, and the value of a realtor. Because the value of a realtor can help offset some of these angst and these feelings that you have. Like you, as a client, you have somebody to talk to about it, and they're going to say, this is really normal. So the other thing is I had a hard conversation with the client today, and that's the other thing. I don't have anyone to have the hard conversation with me. You know, am I on the right track? You know, is this like a great plan, or, you know, what is it? So, anyways, it was a real aha and an awareness that I had this morning. And so that's what I wanted to share with you today. And Deb, I know you feel the same way. You love cottage cheese and potato chips. For me, I have to have a lot of pepper on it too. So I'd say potato chips, pepper, and cottage cheese. Anyway, so that's it. That's kind of where I'm at in my own personal life, my belief in the value of a realtor, and how important it is. You know, sometimes it comes down to the little details. It's the big, the medium, and the little, but it's the biggest thing is the value of a realtor can really help you make those decisions, and you're not on your own. And there's reasons for those decisions. They really, I know for myself, I have my client's best interest at heart. It's because I want to knock it out of the ballpark online. And, you know, being a realtor, local realtor, and having all these people look at your own house, all my colleagues, I'm sure there's a little like, you know, on my mind, you know, what are all my realtor friends going to think of my own house? So it's really an interesting place to be. All the feels, as my daughter Jen says, all the feels. So that's it. That's what that's what's happening here. I hope everyone's doing well. Oh, you like onions too. Hope everyone's doing well. We will see you next week. I will be giving you a little more of a not so personal live, but a little more market related, real estate related. A lot of people are asking me what's going on in the market, especially what's going on, you know, in our world right now, and government shutdown and things like that. I'm getting a lot of questions about that. So I wanted to switch it on over to market, real estate, general vibe, what is happening out there. Okay? All right. Anyhow, oh, Carrie. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Carrie. Thank you, Deborah. Thank you, everyone. Thanks for popping on. We'll see you next week. And in the meantime, thumbs up, lots of love, and keep smiling. Okay? Okay. Thanks.